Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Workbench here at Scale Models Midwest. As always, I'm David. Hoping you have a great weekend. As you saw from the thumbnail, I've got two kits to show you today for my model cars and coffee. I am working on a kit later on this afternoon. I'm just taking a little break from cleaning house, get ready to go outside and do some yard work, go run some errands, then come back and kind of hole up in the basement here for a few hours and work on a kit. Meantime, I wanted to show you the two that I purchased here recently. The first one came from Hobby Nut Models. This is the Peugeot 306 Maxi Evo 2. It's a car that won the Monte Carlo class in 1998, you see right there. And it's from a company called Beeman. I've never heard of this company before, but when I looked at the contents of the kit inside, I figure it looks like it's probably, hopefully on par with that of Tamiya or even Aoshima kits. And I like World Rally Champion cars. I like how they go through the woods, dirt roads, and tarmac, and they are just super quick. And I mean, even the fans are just like, to me, Iron Maiden in South America level fans. They get so close to the road, they are so enthused by the cars as they just rip by them in about like inches to spare. And it's like, someday I'd like to go to Finland or whatever when they do some of these road rallies and just watch it myself. Be kind of on my bucket list, but can't do that right now. I'm just going to enjoy it in miniature. So what's in this kit? First of all, as you open up the box, it's very well laid out. I had already opened a box of the contents and managed to get them all back in. It has a really cool color sheet, and then of course got the nice little introductory sheet, and it looks like it's going to be a pretty sharp car when you build it up. It's pretty small. Everything, with the exception of this little tree, is molded in white, and I've gone ahead and got some Tamiya white lacquer that I'm going to be airbrushing for this particular kit when I do build it. I like the fact that it's got all the lights. You notice this one definitely set up for like that nighttime driving. Wheels on this one, they have 5 of them, and of course there is the assembly for the front light pod, as well as the two that go into the front valance, as well as the lower air dam. And there's the clear tree, which when I looked at it, I haven't taken anything out of their trees yet. Looks like it's clear, no scratches or smudges. Definitely looks like it's got no real optical distortion in it. We'll see for sure once we get out of the packaging, but got that. Then of course there's another, like a clear for under tray. I think you can paint that. And of course the lenses for the front and rear tail lamps. 5 tires, as well as the little piece that go inside the wheel hubs, kind of hold it in place. I like that. And then this is obviously it's no engine, so it's curbside, but it has very well detailed roll cage assembly, see there, as well as front and rear suspensions and the disc brakes, you see on the back. Obviously, I think the front's going to be the larger ones, but this just looks really sharp. I'm really looking forward to putting this together. I've really started looking at the Tamiya kits more often than the Aoshima kits. You know, I built that Porsche, and I've got 3 other Tamiya kits since then. Plus, I've got the Miata that I'll be building a little bit later as well. The detail on these kits is unbelievable, so hopefully the B-Max lives up to the same expectations. I'm looking here, there's the bottom of the engine, and that already looks like it's very well detailed, so definitely calls out for some paint detailing. The interior, separate door panels, the racing bucket seats are pretty sweet. I think on this one I've got some ribbon that I can use with some buckles for racing harnesses. And then when I look at the decals itself, I haven't opened it up yet, so there's 2 sheets of decals. You can see through here there are the gauge pod, as well as, I guess, for the center stack, and then decals for the window trim, which I'll most likely mask and paint. And then of course you can build this either as number 14, 16, or 18. As I'm looking through the instructions, I'm going to see which one actually won the class. I'll build it up like that. And then the body, pretty sweet. I'm going to go on ahead and open this one myself. I won't open anything else up just yet. This body, it's pretty sweet. And I've never built a small Peugeot or anything like that before, but this one just looks really nice. I don't see any sink marks. I can sand this up pretty good. I think there's one little spot right there. Nope, those are the hood pins. I've actually got some hood pins that are photo etched, so I'll probably sand those and do that. But this one looks like it would go together and be a pretty sharp race car. And as far as the size comparison, if I look at that and compare it to the Porsche that I did, really it's not too off the mark. So I'm liking it. I cannot wait to build this one. When, I don't know. I've got 2 kits that I have on deck. Like I said, I'm starting to work on one today, and got another one that is just another quick build NASCAR, and we'll be showing you that in the next video. But in the meantime, I'm going to go on ahead and put this back in, set that off to the side, and when I'm ready to build it, I'll give it a good wash and go from there. So with that, the second kit actually kind of fell into my lap yesterday when I was at the consignment table over at my local hobby shop, Hobby Haven, and it has been forever since I had a Johan kit, and now I've got another one. This is Johan's 64 Dodge Super Stock. Now, it was pretty reasonably priced. It is what it looks like, the original kit, and I was checking the instructions just to make sure it wasn't like a remanufactured one from the 80s or even early 90s. This is definitely article original. It was priced accordingly. It was also priced pretty fairly, I think. And I like these big cars, which back then were probably the mid-size vehicles. And I've already got one of these. I'll have to pull that out when I get ready to start building this one. Maybe. We'll talk about that in a moment. But this one is Super Stock Hemi, and it's just pretty sweet. Let's go ahead and open it up and show you what we got. So I looked at it. The body, very nicely done, and it just looks sharp. I know when I go to build this, there's a couple of mold lines and whatnot to take care of, and I like it. I like it. I like it. The window glass was free and clear of any blemishes. I put it inside the body just to make sure it would fit. I wouldn't have any issues there, and it does. I mean, very nice. The interior, just a simple bucket, very little relief detail, but it's set up. The rear has no seat. It's just basically a package shelf. If I get the seats in here, again, if I build it, I'll probably use some kind of sprue to make armrests to kind of give it some depth. The chassis, of course, with Chrysler's famous torsion bar suspension, which made these things handle pretty well, and of course you can see screws for the back end of the kit. Then you have your aged but complete decal sheet, or sorry, instruction sheet. Build up a Hemi, twin carb intake manifold, pretty basic setup, and then they got the exhaust headers, and then the side window glass, interior, the shifter, and there you go. I mean, it's pretty sweet. The kit, I went to look through it, and of course it looked like they had already cut some pieces out of it, so I wanted to make sure that it had everything in there that was related to the kit. And I just kind of kept looking through it. The engine's there, the blocks for the front suspension, rear suspension are there, seat belts are there, everything for the engine, the headers. Those headers look pretty sweet, by the way. Of course, the hood with the hood scoop, and of course, steering wheel, everything is in place. The roll bars and whatnot, they're in there as well. And of course the front and rear pieces for that. The chrome has held up really well for 50 some odd years worth, and this is pretty sharp. Build this, put a little bit of black wash on it, pretty sweet. And kind of kept looking through it. If you do put a rear seat in, there you go. But I figure if I do some research and find out that the Super Stock Dodge that they had there had a package shelf and that was it, these won't go in it. I'll probably put those in a parts box. Then I started looking just to make sure all the little things were in place. Tires, they had all four, got clear plastic parts. Seats, right there. Dashboard, and then of course the rear tail lamps. I had the intake manifold. They had all four of the wheel backs. There's a lot of flash on this, so you know, I'll go to build this, clean it up, and then I started looking at everything else. The only thing that really popped up for me was that I thought at first they didn't have all the rims. They actually do. When I was there at the hobby shop, the gentleman behind the counter was really nice. He said, we'll knock off a bit for this, but noticing that they actually have all four of them, I think one was just kind of stuck there. He gave me a little bit of a price break on this, so I'm going to go back and say, hey, I actually found the fourth rim, and I'm going to give them the difference, because, you know, hey, they're a good business. They were good by me, so I'm going to be good by them. And then of course the decals, I don't know if I'm going to use them. If I go to build this, I might just leave them because, you know, for posterity's sake, and I might just find a company that might have these decals redone. Otherwise, I don't know. I've heard some people say you could clear them and reuse the decals, but the sheet's fairly yellowed, so I don't know. We're gonna think about that. But again, it is a sharp kit. I have not had a Johan kit in my collection since I had the Tornado, and I had a Tornado and I had the Cadillac. I'd like to say it was a hearse, but I could be wrong. It could have been just a Cadillac ambulance, but those were back in the 80s when these kits were pretty cheap. But when I went to the most recent hobby show I went to, there were Johan kits that were running $70, $80, $90. They were missing parts or they were partially built. Sealed ones were a good $200 on average and going up. So this one may just sit on the shelf just as kind of like a conversation piece, saying, hey, I've got one, and maybe I'll build it, maybe I won't. Kits are meant to be built, so eventually it will get built, just don't know when. I just think it's a pretty cool kit. I like the cars from the 60s, big cars, even bigger engines, so yeah, it's all good. But yeah, I'm gonna, when I'm out and about to that hobby shop, I'm gonna go and make good on the price diff and let them know I found the other rim, and then kind of go from there. But anyhow, that's all I got for you today. I just wanted to show you those. I hope you're having a good time building the cool kits yourself. Yeah, I was really happy to get this one, stoked to see it, and like I said, it's gonna go up on my shelf for a while until I feel inspired to build it. But otherwise, for the rest of the weekend, I've got other kits to work on. Again, hope you're building the cool kits. Catch you on the next video.